I got drunk and stole my neighbor's dog, figuring it would drive him up the wall, but I didn't expect him to break down crying in the elevator, not suspect me in the slightest, and even invite me over to his place to shower. I took the chance to slip into his shirt and play innocent, only to find he'd seen through me from the start, squinting now as he asked how much longer I planned to keep this act going. Riding the elevator at midnight, a handsome guy with an iron chain fastened to his wrist stepped in. I locked on the chain. He thought I was nervous and tried to soothe me. "Don't be scared. It doesn't bite. Oh crap. Where's my dog?" It was 2 a.m. Dead quiet. I stood in the elevator as a man in a face mask came in. The eyes above it were gorgeous. I didn't dare stare, took a quick peek and dropped my gaze. When my eyes hit the floor, I froze. There was a thumb-thick iron chain there, clearly trailing down from the man's wrist. He turned his wrist without thinking, and the chain gave a faint metallic clink. Late night, elevator iron chain. A man put those together, and tell me that's not creepy. I swallowed hard. The gulp sounded absurdly loud in the silent car. He must have noticed my nerves. His eyes curved and he said, "Don't be afraid. It doesn't bite." "Wait, what the hell? Where's my dog?" I pressed my lips together and shut my eyes, fighting the laughter tearing through me until my face went purple. The elevator kept climbing. He looked ready to pry the doors open and jump out, spinning in panic, wearing his love for that dog on his sleeve. Seconds later, to my shock, he cried. His eyes went bloodshot, tears brimming, pitiful, to say the least. I fumbled out some tissues and handed them over. "Don't cry. I'll look with you. We'll find him." He took the tissue, voice low. "Dog thieves are everywhere now. I'm afraid it." "No," I said, rock solid. "We'll find him." He steadied a bit and looked at me with those wet eyes. "Thank you. I'm Jason. Isabel." As soon as the elevator stopped, Jason bolted like the wind. Since it was the middle of the night, he had to keep it down. Buddy. I wanted to laugh but didn't dare. Who names a good dog Buddy? Maybe the poor thing ran off from embarrassment. Jason searched like a madman. He even pried up every manhole cover he passed. I suspected that if a girl walked by, he'd probably lift her skirt and check, too. When Jason cracked open the third manhole cover, I finally spoke. "It's probably not in the sewers, right? You don't know my buddy. He's crafty. He'll hide from people." That's beyond crafty. That's practically supernatural. We swept the neighborhood and still came up empty. Watching his face get paler and paler, I suggested, "This is too few people. My friend runs a citywide info group at daybreak. I'll post a lost dog notice. More eyes, more chances." Jason scrubbed his face and agreed, helpless. That let me add him on WeChat. Then we split up in the elevator. Back home, I slumped on the couch, staring at the ceiling, tasting one name over and over. Jason. After a while, I pushed open the guest room door. "Buddy, dinner." A Sheba launched at me and licked my face. Enthusiasm, off the charts. Like owner, like dog, way too trusting. I mixed canned meat with kibble, set it down, and rubbed his round head. "I'll take you home at first light, okay? You were gone a hot minute, and your brother's handsome face already looked like it was falling apart from panic." Buddy glanced up at me. Not a single light was on. Only the computer cast a ghostly glow on a document. Jason. Male. 23. Popular esports streamer. Lives alone. Unit 1601. Takes the dog out after midnight. Sporty wardrobe. Likes animals. Terrified of cockroaches. I thought a moment and added, "Soft touch. Cries easily. Quick to trust." Bottom left showed the file was created a month ago. Edited an eye-popping 56 times. I pulled out my phone and sent my kid brother a cash transfer. If he hadn't cut Buddy's collar before Jason got on the elevator, none of this would have gone so smoothly. Not with how much he dotes on that dog. 7 o'clock came fast. The building's cameras, down for repairs, would be back at 8. I needed to hustle Buddy home. I was about to head out when my gaze snagged on the drink on the table and I paused. Maybe I should get the most mileage out of Buddy first. Door of 1601. I drew a deep breath and knocked. A moment later, Jason appeared. Buddy! I bounced the dog in my arms. Well, surprise? Jason's smile bloomed. Big surprise. How'd you find him? I lied without blinking. After you got home, I took another loop. Lucky me, he hadn't gone far. Jason looked at me, grateful all over. The moment he reached out to take Buddy, I quickly popped the little bag hidden under my clothes. Feeling the wetness spread across my front, I gasped. He peed on me! Buddy whipped his head around, staring at me like, seriously? You're flirting with a guy and blaming me? I shot him a reassuring look. Relax. Once I land your brother, I'll buy you a truckload of canned meat. Jason, embarrassed, said, sorry about that. Buddy's never done this before. Maybe he got scared when he was lost. I'll replace the shirt. I waved it off. No need. I'll go wash up first. I took 2 steps, then patted my pocket with an awkward look. Rushed out. Forgot my keys. My acting was textbook worthy of a film school demo. Jason, pure as a lamb, believed me and made the offer. If you don't mind, you can shower at my place. Standing in Jason's bathroom, I let out a long sigh. This was going way too smoothly. Plan B hadn't even gotten airtime. Just as I finished showering, a knock came at the door. A fair, slender hand slid inside. This one's new. You can wear it. I took the shirt, my damp fingertips accidentally grazing his palm. His hand stiffened for a beat, like he'd been burned, then jerked back. I grinned, smug. With how shy he was, calling him a bunny wasn't wrong at all. I slipped into Jason's shirt and studied myself in the mirror. Something felt missing. Ah, got it! A few flicks of water dampened my hair, droplets tracing down to plaster the shirt against my skin. The hem hit just at my thighs, like I was wearing nothing underneath. After all that, I cursed myself 800 times in my head. Isabel? Isabel. All this scheming, aren't you afraid of shaving years off your life? I pushed open the door, but Jason wasn't there. Just as I wondered, he came back loaded with bags. His eyes froze on me. His handsome face flushed scarlet. Everything in his hands crashed to the floor. You. I tilted my head, feigning innocence. What's wrong? He waved awkwardly. Nothing. Then crouched to pick up the mess, with such a perfect chance. Of course I wasn't letting it slide. I crouched beside him, sneaking glances at his sharp profile and reddened ears. When only one item was left, we both reached out at the same time. My hand landed on top of his. Right time, right place, right chemistry. If something didn't happen now, it'd be criminal. Just as I leaned in, a thumb-sized brown shape strolled into view. I whipped my head toward the sofa. A small white box had fallen out of my bag. Damn it! Plan B had broken out. Jason instantly broke into a cold sweat, frozen stiff. His voice trembled. Isabel, there's a cockroach. I soothed him on the surface, but poured fuel on the fire. Don't worry. Once it finishes eating people, it'll leave. Jason yelped, leaping so high he nearly gave me a heart attack. He bolted for the bedroom, fast as a gust of wind, only to skid to a stop halfway, double back, and grab me along. Tears of laughter streamed down as we ran. If only he knew I'd brought the roach. Would he still be pulling me along like this? Jason slammed the bedroom door shut and leaned against it, shaken. I played along, patting my chest, like I was calming down too. After a while, he finally realized something was off. The windows are shut tight. I sprayed roach killer along the walls. How did it get in? I lied, with a straight face. Didn't you just step out? Must have slipped in then. Makes sense. I nearly bit through my cheek, holding in laughter. Was this guy really that easy to fool? His room was spotless, everything neatly in place. A 2-meter-wide bed sat in the center, looking soft as a cloud. I perched on the edge, watching him with amusement. That's when his shyness kicked back in. He stood in the corner like a scolded schoolboy, back of his head turned to me. Come sit. Standing there must be tiring. Jason's red ears twitched as he shook his head. I'm fine. I didn't push, just changed the subject. I can read palms a little. Want me to take a look? That piqued his interest. He sat down a person's distance away and offered his hand. I held his long, bony fingers, tracing them lightly. I said, with great seriousness, you've got a treasure line means good fortune. Your lifeline is clear and runs all the way to your wrist, which shows long life. Your love line thickens sharply at age 23, meaning that's when you'll meet true love. Oh, right, how old are you now? 23. I put on a face of mock surprise and congratulations. Then this is your year. Jason gave a crooked smile, about to say something when Buddy's scratching sounded at the door. He got up to let him in, but Buddy ignored him completely and bounded straight for me. Big round eyes locked on mine, something bulging in his mouth. I understood instantly and held out my hand. The silly dog dropped a drool-soaked cockroach right onto my lifeline. So this was Buddy's revenge? Fine. He won. I wasn't scared of roaches, but having one in my palm was crossing a line. Every hair on my body stood on end. My wrist almost snapped from how hard I flung it, praying for an escape hatch in the floor. Tragically, the little roach landed square on Jason. Then it took flight, buzzing around the room like it really was, out for blood. Ah! Ah! Jason and I screamed loud enough to rip the roof off, sprinting for the living room, but the doorway couldn't fit two grown adults side by side. I was half suspended, legs kicking, getting nowhere. Then something shoved me from behind and I lost balance, tumbling forward. Jason, quick as lightning, caught my arm and ended up breaking my fall. My palms pressed into his chest as his handsome face loomed inches away. Our noses barely a centimeter apart. A tiny tilt and I could have kissed him. The firm, springy feel of his chest muscles pulsed through the thin t-shirt under my hands. And I still had the presence of mind to wonder. Did Plan B just score me an indirect assist? My eyes drifted down, landing on his perfectly shaped lips. With a chance like this, should I kiss him? Or kiss him? Or maybe kiss him? Jason's heartbeat pounded like a drum, his eyes darting. The floor's cold, let's get up. Sure, I said easily. As I lifted my hands, my nails accidentally scraped across a very sensitive spot on his chest. A low, magnetic groan slipped from Jason's throat. He just pushed himself up, but with that sound he collapsed back down again, those clear eyes now hazed over. I hadn't expected him to react so strongly. I froze for a second. His voice was hoarse as he held out his hand. Help me up! Once on his feet, he spun around like a top pouring me juice, turning on the TV, grabbing pillows, treating me like some savior of his dog's life. Then he hauled all the bags into the kitchen. He even pulled out a brand new outfit and handed it to me. A glance at the price tag almost knocked my eyes out of their sockets. This expensive? Jason, I'll just change into my own later. You should return this set. Jason was calmly slicing beef. His pale fingers were stained with blood, the contrast strangely beautiful, almost eerie. At my words, he looked up, voice soft. Put it on. I think it'll look good on you. The most lethal charm is the unintentional kind. Before I knew it, I was dressed and staring at myself in the mirror. Gotta admit, he had good taste, not a hint of straight guy fashion sense. The outfit screamed K-drama chable heiress. Jason set the dishes on the table, caught sight of me stepping out, and flashed a smile. It does look good. My skin's usually thick as a brick wall, yet my cheeks warmed at that. Rare, indeed. At the table I ate heartily, more and more convinced Jason was special. Good looks, great build, no smoking, no clubbing. Best part? He could cook. Isabel, how old are you? I blurted out. See. Jason blinked. Huh? Oh, you meant age. I'm 24. A year older than you. I winked slyly. You can call me Big Sis. I was only teasing just a year apart, and he was way too shy to ever say it. But the very next second, sis, I choked on my rice, coughing like I'd die. Jason hurried over, patting my back. Did he realize how outrageously illegal it was to say sis with that killer face? For a second, I thought he did it on purpose. But looking into those pure eyes, I figured I was overthinking. Tried to flirt, ended up getting flirted with. Pathetic. I quickly switched topics. Not many guys can cook these days. How'd you learn? His hand paused mid-pat. Tone even. I'm an illegitimate child. My mom died when I was 13. I've lived alone since. That's when I learned. I'm sorry. His eyes curved, his smile clean and pure. It's fine. This is the first time I've shared my family story with anyone. Don't know why, but deep down I feel I can trust you. 2 cold beads of sweat slid down my forehead. I don't deserve that. After dinner, I helped clear the table, watched him load the dishwasher, then pretended to call a locksmith as an excuse to leave. As much as I wanted to linger, I hadn't slept a wink last night. My soul was half out of my body already. No, rush, the future is long. Just as I opened the door, Jason called after me. Sis, do you like gaming? My eyes sparkled. Of course, but I'm terrible at it. Can't find a pro to carry me. Truth was, I knew nothing. His eyes lit up instantly. Then come over after you've rested. I'll carry you. Couldn't ask for better, I agreed on the spot. Back home, I sat staring at the document for a long while, my mind a mess. Every thought circled one person, Jason. After some time, I typed a new line at the end. I can't quite figure him out. You're here. The door of 1601 swung open and warm. Freshly showered Jason stood there, hair dripping. I handed him a box of cherries and stepped inside. He sounded just like my aunt. You didn't have to bring anything. I grinned. A bribe for the pro. Don't get mad when I play like trash. Jason's face was earnest. I won't get mad at you. Sincerity's the ultimate kill shot. With all my scheming, I still felt defeated. All I could say was, good. While he washed cherries in the kitchen, I wandered the apartment. In daylight, I noticed what I'd missed. No trace of a woman's presence. Like he lived in ascetic simplicity. On a table lay an open notebook. I wasn't in the habit of snooping, but my eyesight was too good. A line caught my eye. Life is bland. Thank goodness for a little flavoring. Flavoring? Buddy? Before I could think further, Jason walked back out. He set down the cherries, conveniently covering the notebook. Let's play, sis. My attention shifted instantly. Sure. Jason's job was streaming PUBG, with nearly 20 million fans, even though I'd crammed some basics before coming. Being carried by him was like using a cannon on a mosquito. He set a laptop in front of me. Thus began the legendary settle down and build a family duo. Sis, someone just passed by your side. Find a safe spot and wait for me. I nodded solemnly, then promptly flopped prone. Sis, come here. Like a zombie, I ran straight to him. He showered me with loot. Medkits, adrenaline, extended mags, level 3 helmet, and vest the works. I scooped it all up with zero shame, then went back to swapping outfits. Each time Jason downed an enemy, I dashed over to loot clothes. In minutes, I'd changed more than 10 times. After he mowed down another, I gasped. How do you even do that? I didn't even hear footsteps, Jason said flatly. My hearing's sharper than most, and I'm good at pinpointing direction. A thought flashed through me. Sharp hearing, good at directions, did he notice when my brother cut Buddy's collar? On second thought, impossible. If he had, why wouldn't he have stopped it? And he'd been crying, genuinely. We were in squad mode, matched with 2 strangers, 1 silent point hoarder, and 1 girl who clung to Jason's shadow. Too much imbalance always stirs trouble. With Jason protecting me non-stop, The girl got jealous. A sugary voice came through the mic. "Number one, big bro. I'm missing a muzzle, can you give me one? Pretty please." Her pitch stretched for miles, making my skin crawl. Jason shot her down cold. "I don't have one either." She wasn't discouraged. "Big bro, you're amazing. You're so good. Let's team up later and play again." "Okay." My mind filled with question marks. Amazing? So good? Has she tested it? This isn't flirting, it's sanding her kneecaps raw. If you're gonna be a green tea act, at least train for 2 years before debuting. Or better yet, come sign up for my class. You're embarrassing the entire green tea community. I thought Jason's type, no matter how annoyed, would never take things to extremes. But I was dead wrong. Jason curled his lips, his voice laced with a dangerous allure. "Sure. Come to me first. I'll give you a muzzle." "I'm coming, big bro. Wait for me, Tilda." The next second I saw him pull a grenade and toss it at the stairwell. The girl had just stepped onto the second floor when boom! Smoke filled the air. On the ground, a fresh loot box glowed faint green. A line flashed across my screen. "Your teammate LY used a grenade to eliminate Cat Cat Cute." "What the hell are you doing?" Jason's voice didn't waver. "Your voice bothers me. Not even a tenth as nice as Isabel's." With that, he muted the little speaker beside the now grey Cat Cat Cute. I couldn't help asking, "Doesn't team killing affect your account?" "No, my account weight is high." I nodded knowingly. This was the arrogance of a pro. As expected, every gentleman has a hooligan buried inside. After that, he turned off random matchmaking altogether. Honestly, he didn't need it. Having me dragging him down was already enough. 2,000 years later, I finally recalled what Jason had said. Not even a tenth as nice as Isabel's. Leaning close, I whispered, "So you think my voice is nice, don't you, Jason?" He licked his dry lips, the flash of his red tongue gone in an instant. Eyes deep as the sea. Nice." I toyed with one of his buttons. "I've got something even nicer. Want to hear it?" And that's when I died inside. Turns out Jason had been streaming live the whole time. My flirty wolf words had just been broadcast to millions. I stared blankly at the flood of scrolling comments. "No, Mom says you can't listen. You're still a child." Wild King. Oh, my boy's grown up. Already flirting with women. Sharp eyes. That woman better back off from my husband. Buddy Thieves United. Ah, wild bro, my voice is way better. But buried among them were comments that warmed me. Sweet cookie. Am I the only one who thinks he's acting different today? He barely says 10 words in a whole day usually. Genius. Can. Something's off with Jason tonight. Did he fall in love? Jason leaned on his hand, watching me. My face swung between fury and glee, making him chuckle. "Sis," I turned my head. The screen's glow lit his face, so beautiful it felt like an illusion, like one touch would shatter it. "I'm really happy today. Since my mom passed, I've never been this happy." It was like a bucket of ice water poured over me, freezing me from head to toe. I didn't even dare look at him. I shut down the stream and forced out the words. "Can you tell me about your mom?" Jason leaned back in his chair, eyes fixed on the screen like he was lost in memory. My mom wasn't lucky. She fell in love with a man, followed him through hardship, stuck by him through every struggle of his startup. She even drank herself into a bleeding stomach just to help him land investors. She believed every "I love you," he said. Believed he'd marry her. But people's hearts are the deepest, darkest thing. When the company finally took off, that man cheated with a business partner's daughter. All because that woman could offer him a brighter future. My mom was heartbroken, and right then she found out she was pregnant. After thinking it through, she chose not to abort. She raised the child on her own. So, ever since I was young, I've thought when I have someone I love, I'll never let her go through that kind of pain. Having children is never a woman's obligation. If a woman is willing to bear my child, it means she loves me deeply, and I'll make sure she never loses. His voice faltered, sorrow enveloping him. But really, the one who hurt my mum most was me. If she hadn't been bringing me food during class, she wouldn't have gotten into that accident. My chest tightened. I ruffled his hair. It wasn't your fault. How old were you then? And I'm sure your mum wouldn't want you living in guilt. So what about that man now? Dying. Late-stage lung cancer. He and his wife only have one daughter. Recently, he came to me. Wanted me to inherit his company. Called it compensation. I pushed down all my tangled emotions. Forced myself to keep him smiling. Back home, the moment I shut the door, I collapsed against it, gasping for air. Adoring looks can be faked. A doting tone can be faked. Even a blush of shyness can be faked with held breath. But a heartbeat can't be faked. When Jason told that story, my heart thundered like a war drum and I was drowning in conflict. After a long time, I pulled out my phone and typed a message. I'm not capable enough. Please find someone else. The reply came fast. That's fine, Miss Isabel. According to our contract, you can walk away by paying 20 times the penalty fee. Damn it, I knew it. The contract shouldn't have been legal, but they'd had top lawyers tailor it to favor the client. When I signed, I never thought I'd back out. I twisted my hair in frustration, biting my lip until I tasted blood. 20 times. 20 times! Even if I sold myself, I couldn't pay that. When I didn't reply, the other party, oh so generously, offered me a path. If you can't make him sign willingly, then use another method. He can't hold his liquor, you know what to do. My fingers trembled as I typed back. I understand. There's a profession in this world, politely called a relationship consultant, but more crudely known as a professional home wrecker. Example, a wife can't stand her husband snoring, farting, or smacking his lips. Wants a divorce, but he refuses, so she hires a consultant to seduce him and collect evidence of infidelity. The wife then takes that evidence to court. Reality's far more complicated, with endless variations. Honestly, with a scheming mind like mine, not doing this job felt like a waste. And this was my very first assignment. The legitimate wife wanted the illegitimate son to renounce his inheritance rights voluntarily, if possible. And who that illegitimate son was, I don't need to spell out. At first, I thought it was no big deal, just a bastard child, nothing more than a mistake born of an affair. To what little conscience I had, it felt like nothing. Plus, he was barely past 20. How skilled could he be? So, I rented an apartment near Jason's, spent weeks studying his habits, drafting a plan. Who could have guessed that after just one day of contact, I'd break? And not just break, a total collapse. I'd backed myself into a corner with no way out. Jason, what kind of person are you to make someone like me, who's never felt an ounce of empathy, feel the sting of conscience for the first time? Damn it. Enough. One step at a time. Over the next few days, I slacked off completely, eating and sleeping in turns, trying to steady myself before facing Jason again. During that time, he messaged me twice. The first time, he sent a picture of braised ribs he'd made. Hungry? Come down and eat. I didn't reply. The second time was just one line. Buddy misses you. I still didn't reply. On the fourth day, I knocked on the door of 1601. Jason opened it, dressed in a linen loungewear set that made his tall frame look even straighter. He froze for a second, then narrowed his eyes dangerously. Who bit you? I hadn't expected that to be his first words, so I didn't react at once. What? He reached out, brushed my lower lip a few times, and softly repeated. I said, "Who bit you?" The calm tone barely masked the storm inside. I suddenly remembered the scab from when I bit myself was still there. Laughing, I patted his shoulder. What are you thinking? No one bit me. Jason said nothing more, didn't even ask where I'd been the past few days. I exhaled in relief. He still looked like the same pure, sweet puppy. He played games with me, cooked his specialties, and after dinner we'd walk buddy together. The air between us grew hazy, addictive. I let myself get lost in it, forgetting why I'd approached Jason in the first place. No doubt, the flirtation phase was intoxicating. A few more days slipped by. Then came Mid-Autumn Festival, and I knew I couldn't keep lying to myself. Sis, I bought a ton of groceries. Let's celebrate together today. Jason's message made me press my lips tight. After a long pause, I replied, "Okay." 6 dishes were laid out on the table, each one delicately plated. Beside them sat 2 cases of beer and a bottle of baijiu, all bought by me. I raised a can, boisterous. "Come on. Holiday tonight. Let's drink our fill." Jason chuckled softly, clinked my can, then downed it in one go. Liquor spilled from the corner of his mouth, tracing his pale neck before disappearing into his collar. After just 2 cans, Jason looked like he'd been dunked in wine, red from forehead to toes. I'd never seen someone flush so easily from alcohol. Soft pink, so pinchable. His gaze was already a bit unfocused when he asked slowly, "Sis, we've known each other so long, but I still don't know what you do." Half joking, half serious, I said, "You are my work." Jason just grinned, dopily, baring his teeth. "Silly, right?" I burst out laughing. The little drunk furrowed his brows, protesting. "I'm not silly." "Fine, fine. You're not silly. I am. Happy? Like coaxing a child. Yeah, you're silly." Before the words even faded, his head dropped. I waited 5 minutes, saw he was truly asleep, then patted his shoulder. "Jason? Jason?" Nothing. I hefted his arm over my shoulder and hauled him to the bedroom. Damn, drunks are heavy. Night had fallen deep. The room was dark except for a sliver of light from the living room. Sitting on the bed, my fingers traced Jason's striking features, from his deep eyes, to his straight nose, to the clean lines of his jaw. After a long while, a barely audible sorry slipped out. I pulled the contract from my bag, dabbed red ink on Jason's thumb. Just as I was about to press it to the paper, I stopped. I didn't want to. Truly, desperately didn't want to. Neither I nor Emily had the right to decide Jason's life. Screw it, I'm done. Worst case, I'll pay the penalty. Can't afford it? Then so be it. Just as I started to pack the contract away, his eyes opened in the dark. "Why hesitate?" The sudden voice made me jolt, dropping the contract. "You were awake?" Jason sat up, no trace of drunkenness on him. He repeated, tone unfamiliar. "Isabel, why hesitate?" All the odd details finally strung together in my mind. I stared at him. "Because I don't want to." Jason bent to pick up the contract. I slapped it away like it burned me. "Don't look." "I don't need to look. It's a waiver for inheritance rights, isn't it?" Cold seeped into my bones. "When did you find out?" He pulled a pack of cigarettes from the drawer and lit one under my shocked gaze. The smoke blurred his face, strange and chilling. "From the first time we met, you knew too much about me. So I figured you'd investigated me. And there are only 3 reasons for that. 1, my looks. From what I observed, you were attracted, sure, but not enough to justify this much effort. 2, my money. I deliberately left expensive things around my place. You didn't spare them a glance. 3, someone sent you. As for who, as for why, do I even need to ask?" I went silent, feeling dumber than I ever had. "So your sharp hearing, you knew from the start why Buddy went missing, didn't you?" "Yes." I was floored. What kind of acting level was this? I sneered. "Why didn't you stop me? Weren't you worried I'd hurt your dog?" Jason snuffed his cigarette in the ashtray. "It wasn't just hearing. Mainly the elevator door's reflection. Me. What the fuck? I saw that guy. Downstairs. You chased him. And he called you sis. So, I wanted to see what you were really up to in the elevator." I closed my eyes. Memories of Jason replaying like a film. Don't be scared. It doesn't bite. Oh shit! Where's my dog? If you don't mind, come shower at my place. Sis, I don't know why, but I felt deep down I could trust you. Flavoring. So it really was me. What had he felt, playing along with me all this time? Tears fell without warning, soaking the sheet. I had no right to cry, the insincere one was me. Yet I couldn't stop. Jason cupped my face, gently wiping them away. Half regret, half sigh. Isabel, if you'd approached me just for yourself, it would have been fine. Then he picked up the contract and pressed his thumbprint without hesitation. I panicked. What are you doing? He shrugged. Even without Emily pulling this stunt, I wasn't going to inherit. That company is my mom's graveyard of happiness. It disgusts me. But since she hired you, I might as well play along. Only she still thinks that money means something. I make more than that in a year. Damn it. Couldn't he have said that earlier? Still, the guilt in me lightened at least. I hadn't altered Jason's path. Clutching the contract, I rose to leave, but Jason called out, Isabel, come with me to the hospital tomorrow. I understood at once, and nodded. The solemn weight of the hospital pressed down on me. Jason pushed open the ward door. A frail man lay in bed, eyes dull until they lit up at Jason. Jason, come in. I stepped in behind Jason, seeing two women inside. One was Emily, the other a girl of about 15 or 16. Jason's half-sister, no doubt. The man ordered Emily to pour tea for Jason. Jason cut him off. No need. I came for two things, then I'm gone. He tossed the contract onto the bed. Your wife asked me to sign it. I did. Don't mention me inheriting your company again. Your wife's probably grinding her teeth to dust behind your back. Then he pulled a USB stick from his pocket and tossed it onto the bed. Here, watch it when you're alone. Without waiting for a reaction, he grabbed my hand and turned to leave. I threw one last line over my shoulder. Mrs. Emily, I've fulfilled your request to make Jason give up his inheritance. Don't forget my final payment. Her face went stone gray. As soon as we stepped out, the man's roar and Emily's feeble excuses erupted behind us. But a real man never looks back at the explosion. What was on that USB? Proof of Emily's affair. I gave him a thumbs up. How'd you even get that? Jason chuckled. She can hire a relationship consultant to target me, but I can't hire one to target her? My jaw nearly hit the floor. How blind had I been to mistake this razor-sharp man for a puppy? Bro! Jason and I turned at once. The girl from the ward had followed us. I studied her carefully. She didn't share a single feature with Jason. In fact, she was plain. Proof of how strong his mother's genes were. She stopped before him, eyes hopeful. So you're the brother Dad always talks about? Will you come often from now on? Jason's face was cool. No, why not? My dad is your dad too, so my home is your home. Jason laughed softly, said nothing, and walked away. I looked at the naive girl and murmured, Your home is your home. Jason's home is Jason's. His home will be given by me. Understand? Now go back. Outside the hospital, Jason stood beneath the trees, tall and striking, drawing stares from passing girls. I walked over, but couldn't find words. Silence stretched until Jason spoke first. Isabel, if you'd approached me just for yourself, it would have been fine. The second time he'd said that. Not with ulterior motives. Not anymore. But Jason was already walking away, his back lonely and solitary. From 13 till now, he'd been on his own. 10 long years. I should have known. How could he ever have been just a harmless puppy? Life would have chewed him to the bone. Standing at 1601's door, sweat slicked my palms. Wipe it, and it came back again. Isabel, don't panic. This isn't you. I drew a deep breath and lifted my hand to knock when the door swung open. Jason paused at the sight of me, Buddy wriggling in his arms, eager to pounce. A month had passed. His hair was cropped short now. Forehead clear, It made his features even sharper. My nerves vanished in an instant. "Hi, I'm Isabel. Can we be friends?" The boy's eyes were like ink strokes, his smile open. "I'm Jason. So tell me, am I salt or vinegar as your little flavoring?" "You're sugar,"